So today is Sunday the 13th of February. We've all come to the monastery here today to practice, to develop the virtues of a human being. This largely comes through developing an understanding of truth, the Dhamma. If we don't have any true understanding, then it's easy for us to make errors, make mistakes in our life. The Lord Buddha had compassion for other beings and sacrificed his time and energy to teach them with a heart of loving kindness and compassion. He taught out of a pure intention for the well-being, the progress and happiness of others, to help show them the way out of suffering. When he taught without any kind of bias in his mind. His mind, you could say, was unconditional. He just taught out of genuine compassion for the well-being of others, hoping and wishing that they may progress in their own practice and understand the truth that would relieve them from suffering. Where does progress and happiness arise from? Well, this is something we have to learn in life. One of the important factors in this is listening to the Dhamma. We listen to the Dhamma because we have some saddha, faith or confidence in the Dhamma teaching. This confidence gives us the willingness to practice. We have a sense of being interested and willing to do practice to gain more knowledge, more understanding of this mind and of life. The kind of knowledge we seek is that knowledge which brings us into harmony with goodness, brings our mind into harmony with goodness. It's a factor that supports leading our lives, allowing us to lead our lives in a skillful way. One way we describe this kind of knowledge is we say it's sampati. And sampati often is considered to refer to our material wealth. We say somebody has a lot of material wealth, this is their sampati, but it also refers to spiritual wealth, this knowledge of truth and the virtues that we develop through the practice. This is our spiritual wealth. And as we develop our mind through the practice, this is what we're gaining. The Lord Buddha encouraged us to develop a sense of morality or sila. This means developing a mind of compassion, goodwill towards others, being sensitive towards others and kind towards others. It's the opposite of those intentions to compete or take advantage of others or to harm others. Morality springs from our intentions. If we train our mind to have the intention to refrain from unwholesome actions, unskillful actions, then we will prevent ourselves from falling into suffering and decline in our lives. This state of decline or degeneration literally means living in a way without happiness. The Lord Buddha's word for this is abhaya, a place, literally referring to a place or a realm where the mind experiences no happiness, no success, a place of woe or misery. So he taught that there are those activities which help us or encourage us to go to this place of misery, such as drinking alcohol, gambling, going to places where people act in immoral ways, you could say. These sort of activities will gradually over time lead to our decline, the loss of our spiritual wealth and happiness. Those sort of ways often give rise to other people criticizing us, or else ourselves feeling some regret over our actions and suffering because of that. For instance, if you do drink and get drunk, you might find it enjoyable in the short term, but in the long time you'll start to feel the effects of it on your health. The effects of alcohol on a human being is that it gradually damages the nervous system, different organs of the body. One's intelligence and basic awareness starts to degenerate. There are all kinds of different physical side effects that come through regular drinking of alcohol. Can even be dangerous to us or life-threatening. So the Lord Buddha encouraged us to abandon such action, actually to preserve our mindfulness and our wisdom, our basic intelligence through keeping sober, and to understand that that's actually the most useful thing for us. And we have to understand in life what is really beneficial for us and what is not. And this is a good example of something that you can contemplate and come to that understanding. But to do that, you really have to consider your actions. Clearly understand, what am I doing? What are the fruits of my actions? What are the consequences? And develop a concern, a genuine concern in yourself to develop yourself in a good way, so that you're both peaceful in yourself, healthy, and also have good and healthy relations with other people in society. We also have to develop an awareness of the importance of looking after our environment, the world around us, looking after both the people and the material world around us. Everything we're involved with, we affect. So if we're not considering, how we affect the people and the world around us, well, we can easily cause harm and destruction. And the Buddha encouraged us to protect this world that we live in, so that it will not only be here for our benefit, but also for the benefit of future generations. To do this, we have to learn to live with wisdom, use our knowledge, use our intelligence in the right way, not just to get caught into wrong views or superstition or mistaken beliefs in things that have no real benefit to us. We have to develop a sense of personal discipline and responsibility in our behavior. Learn to develop that which is truly good and skillful and supportive to both our own happiness and the happiness of others. To do this, we have to develop our basic awareness, mindfulness, and wisdom, the ability to reflect on things and look at things. These are our most valuable assets, you could say. And what is your most valuable asset is something that you should see the value in protecting and in developing it, maturing it. Our mindfulness and our wisdom are our most important resources as a human being. To develop them, we train ourselves then in this path that the Buddha taught, the practice of generosity and kindness, the practice of morality, and the practice of bhavana, mental cultivation, or what we often call meditation. We might not have done much meditation in the past and are not familiar with it yet. So we have to consider what is its importance. Have to see that the development of bhavana, this mental cultivation, gives both good effects to our physical health and also to our sense of mental well-being. It covers both, it affects both as we develop it. And the fruits of bhavana, or mental cultivation, are that we develop and gain knowledge and understanding. We get to understand this body and mind better and on a deeper level, according to the truth of the way things are. And we develop more of a sense of carefulness, heedfulness, and personal responsibility in what we're doing. We're learning to watch over this mind, to protect it from falling into mental states of suffering. This requires a regular and constant practice of bhavana, or what we say cultivation of mind. Developing this quality of knowing, awareness, to avoid the mind falling into, you might say, faults or weaknesses, negative states that lead to suffering. Just as in life we need to have a house to live in, some kind of shelter to shelter us, protect us from the weather and the wind and so on. So we build a house with walls and a roof sturdy enough to protect us from the dangers of the weather and so on. Well, similarly, we have to give time and effort to building our minds, cultivating our minds, so that they can also protect us from the dangers of negative mind states. What really gives our life value then is a well-developed mind, because this is the place where spiritual virtues arise. So developing knowledge through the practice is a vital tool for aiding us in how to live our lives skillfully in a beneficial way. We have to give ourselves time to develop this kind of knowledge or insight knowledge. We have to give ourselves time to learn how to overcome the obstacles to developing knowledge. We have to learn how to develop our own mindfulness and intelligence, wisdom. Part of this knowledge is learning how to look after this body, to keep it in good health, learn how to eat well, exercise well, protect it from illness, leading a healthy lifestyle. We also have to learn how to interact with the material world around us wisely, skillfully. All the things that we consume in life, food, drinks, and the other material things that we use, we must learn how to do this skillfully. We have to learn that this body is an impermanent condition. Sometimes it can fall ill, or it can be weak or tired. So we have to learn how to look after it. We must learn about the effect of our mind on this body. Our mental state, our mood, how does that affect this body? How does it affect our physical health? We must learn how to do our duties and work, the things we have to do in life, without creating unnecessarily mental stress and suffering, because this can affect our physical health as well. So we have to learn how to look after both the mind and the body together. If we do get stressed, you can see how the stressful states we experience mentally will also have their effects physically. When you're stressed, often you can't sleep very well, or perhaps can't even sleep at all. Sometimes the different bodily functions and systems don't work so well because of stress. They like digestion. Often we have digestive problems, or we get constipation, or we have urination problems, and so on. The body can become quite abnormal through the effects of stress, and these are the side effects of it. So we have to learn to manage our lives in a skillful way, both to protect our mental well-being and our physical well-being. You have to learn what is the right amount to rest for you. Learn what keeps your mind feeling at ease and how much rest you need. Have to learn what is skillful to eat and consume. Learn to eat the right amount of food and then the right kinds of food. If we eat too much of the wrong kinds of food, it can lead to all kinds of chemical imbalances in the body. Again, can be a cause for physical problems and even mental stress again. The Lord Buddha encouraged us to learn about these basic aspects of our physical health, to learn about nutrition and the effect of what we consume on the body. He was already teaching this 2,500 years ago. These are the sort of things you also hear today in different types of education. We talk about these things, but he was already teaching it many, many years ago. And he taught us basic guidelines such as to learn to be modest in what you consume, moderation, and to be mindful of the body and the effects of things on this body. If you do have accumulated sort of digestive problems or constipation, these other kind of illnesses, sometimes it's good to try doing a natural form of detox to help free the body from some of the toxins and other chemicals that it can accumulate over time, which might be of harm to it. One of the most simple recipes for detox is just a mixture of water, Epsom salts, lemons and olive oil. Now, I've tried it myself and advised many other monks who had health problems to try it, and with quite good results. If it's not something you would do very often, maybe once every 2 or 3 years, because if you do it too often, it could also be a cause for problems. But once in a while, something like this can be quite helpful to help purge the body or flush out some of the accumulated chemicals and toxins. The mixture they usually use is 800 cc's of water with the Epsom salts, the lemons and the olive oil. You take 200 cc's of the mixture first at 8 p.m. in the evening with the Epsom salts. Then about 10 p.m. you take 200 cc's of water with the olive oil and the lemons. And then you have to lie down, because the lying down posture will allow this mixture to flow through the different organs of the body, particularly through the bile ducts and through the liver, which gradually start to flush out. Obviously, it's good to do it on an evening or a night when you don't have any other activities to do. You find by the morning the mixture sort of worked through the system. You take another 200 cc's at 6 a.m., one more glass at 8 a.m., and then you're finished. By 10 a.m. you're ready to do your normal activities. The result is that you often manage to flush out quite a lot of accumulated fats and other substances, and you are left feeling very light, agile, with a sense of well-being. This is just one example of a kind of natural medicinal technique that they've been using for many, many centuries that can help us in our basic health. Another is what the Buddha called Buddhimutta Besajang, the use of fermented medicines, where you make use of the fermentation process to develop what we call the positive kinds of bacteria and enzymes, the sort that help build up the body and repair damaged tissues, damaged organs and so on, the natural effects of aging. We've been experimenting with a certain kind of fermented medicine made from the leftover food from the monks, mixed with molasses and a few other ingredients, and had quite good results. You take it, just a very small amount of it mixed with water on a regular basis, and again it has a good effect on the body to repair the body and just give a sense of well-being, especially for those with health issues. So we can see that the practice that the Buddha taught, it's an all-encompassing practice, all around learning about how to keep this body healthy, keep the mind healthy. He encouraged us to learn about these things because this is what we have, this is life. We have this body and this mind with us. So we should take the time and interest to learn about them and how to look after them properly. So today I've just been sharing with you some of this experience for your benefit. That's probably enough for today. It's getting on, time is getting on. Did anyone have any questions before we finish? Yeah, Ida? Can? Venerable Tanya might write it down for you. He lives with Lumpur and has been making this medicines, these different medicines, so he knows how he can write it down and leave it with me. If he doesn't manage to do it today, he'll leave it with me and you can get it another day.
ปฏิบัติตัวได้
Says technique is so simple they don't usually write it down in Thailand, they just tell each other, but he'll get Venerable Tanyo to write it down for you. He says this detox liver flush that they've done, you only need to do it once, maybe for 3 or 4 years. It will you don't have to do it, every few months or every year. So just do it once, and everybody who's done it seems to find it beneficial. Just to sort of has a revitalizing effect, rejuvenating effect on the body. He says in Thailand it's not very fashionable yet. They say the government health departments don't talk about detox much, but I think over here it's much more well known. People know about detox and using it, but this is a very simple one. You can get the ingredients and do for yourself. You don't have to go to a clinic and pay lots of money to do it. The fermented medicine, we're making some here. Lumpur has set it up where the monks wash their bowls, so that won't be ready for at least 3 months or possibly 6 months. So probably the best thing is when it's ready you come back and ask us, and we'll give you a supply, because there should be enough for everyone. Says these organic medicines are helping us just to keep the body going, keep it well maintained, preserved, but of course they can't stop us from getting older, and they can't stop us from dying. And no medicine can do that. So one has to have realistic expectations that they're just just medicines that help support us, but they can't cure everything or keep us alive forever. He says it definitely, from his experience, a lot of people have been using these medicines who he's associated with, and helps to boost the immune system. So especially if somebody is ill already or weak, it helps to boost their immune system so they can maybe deal better with some other disease that they have. He has experience of that, even with people who are ill, that the doctor said, well, there's nothing they can do, they're not going to recover from this. Actually, they did recover, but it's their own body building up its immune system. He's just giving this medicine as a sort of a booster for that, and then the body takes over. That's probably enough for today.